Hey guys, as many of you know, the Fed just had their Fed meeting and we are leaving rates current as expected. And we just had PCE drop, and drop it didn't. I guess I should have said it released today because it definitely didn't drop. PCE rose 0.3 on a monthly basis and 2.6% from a year ago. Now core PCE, which excludes food and energy, was up 0.3% monthly and 2.8% from a year ago. And here's PCE from basically the year 2000. We had our massive spike in 2022 because of all the money printing and all the money in the economy, and we are not back to our pre-pandemic levels. We are not back under 2% yet. We got close a couple times. We got to 2.1 and then we got a massive bounce. I'll leave this down below for you guys. It also talks about the meeting a little bit, talks about tariffs. It is not going in the direction we hope for rate cuts. And they even revised May. I could have sworn in yesterday's video I saw this at 2.3%. But this is not going where we want it. This is not going towards the Fed's 2% target. It is actually rising. Could this be from tariffs? Could this be from something else? Who knows? The fact is it is not coming down to 2%. And this has also changed the odds of a rate cut in September. Now it seems like no rate cut is the most likely option. And of course, the Fed is taking a break in August. They're coming back at it on September. So we have August's PPI and CPI and PCE, and then we have September's PPI and CPI. So we do have a lot of data to look through over time before this next meeting, so these things can definitely change. There's still a chance of a rate cut, and these odds will obviously change. But they are not going in the right direction now. PCE is not going where we want it. Looking at October, we see one rate cut as the most likely scenario, and going to end of year, 1 to 2 rate cuts would be my guess, probably likely to be 1. There is a chance that we don't get any. This has actually been ticking up. If we continue to see PCE not cool down, PPI, CPI not cool down, if we see unemployment not rising, if we don't see weakness in the labor market, then the Fed is likely to continue to pause. Now we do have some Bitcoin reserve news, and Bo Hines confirmed a strategic Bitcoin reserve plan that remains active despite the omission of any new details in their recent policy report. And I quote, "We have it, it's been established. We also have a strategic national digital asset stockpile," adding that Bitcoin is in a class of its own and everyone recognizes that. So far they haven't outright bought any Bitcoin. These reserves have been established, but it is basically only for relinquished or seized assets from criminal parties. However, he does say here there are countless ways that we can accumulate. I think that people will be very pleased with the direction that we are going and will start moving on that in short order. And when asked about the Bitcoin that the federal government has, Bo Hines says, "I can't discuss that right now. There are several reasons we're not disclosing that. There may be a time when we do, but I will say we want as much as we can possibly get, and we're going to continue to work on that." Now, what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to see our government start actually accumulating Bitcoin in a way that they haven't yet? Or is this just going to be another failed promise like the Epstein files? Now, we also have a recent article talking about spot ETH staking and how this could dramatically reshape the market. And the current US ETF issuers are still waiting for the SEC to allow ETFs, Ether ETFs, to offer staking. We have an interesting post from Nate Gerasi. "One item left on my checklist from November, staking in spot ETH ETFs. Today, SEC acknowledged NASDAQ 19B-4 for staking in iShares Ethereum ETF. My guess, this is next on the SEC's hit list, sooner rather than later, before any additional spot crypto ETFs." And Ryan McMillan, Chief Investment Officer of Australian crypto investment manager Merkle Tree Capital, told Cointelegraph that yield is a massive consideration for institutional investors before they pile into an investment. The yield is perceived to reduce volatility. Ether ETFs will now provide both diversification away from Bitcoin as digital gold to ETH as stablecoin infrastructure, but equally important, a yield which is not applicable for Bitcoin. A 3 to 5% yield will make ETH ETFs a compelling portfolio addition given its growth potential, which is quite unique from a portfolio perspective. And Hank Huang, CEO of Kronos, told Cointelegraph that staking approval in spot Ether ETFs changes the game for institutions waiting for a compliant way to earn yield on-chain without touching private keys. Ether ETFs offering yield plus asset growth flips the switch on demand, boosting liquidity and sparking greater appetite for on-chain participation. By combining income and upside, these ETFs will pull in serious capital and drive higher valuations across the whole ecosystem. Ethereum ETFs are near a record-breaking event. They may do it, they may not. They matched their record 19-day inflow streak, adding 5.4 billion. As the spot Ethereum ETF holdings near 5% of the whole ETH supply. And these ETFs have matched their 19-day record inflow streak. Today could break the record or bring us back to square one or the other. And this prior 19-day streak was from May 16 to June 12, which brought in only 1.37 billion only. This 19-day streak that we're currently in was much larger, to the tune of 5.38 billion. Now here's a negative tidbit of news. Wednesday's net inflows were the lowest edition of that 19-day streak, a $5.8 million inflow, almost break even, almost nothing or almost negative. I mean, that was very close. It's all up to Thursday. It's all up to today as of this upload. Can we break this streak or does it come to an end? Everything I go over will be down below for you. There are some bits and pieces I didn't read, so make sure you check it out down below. If you want some free stocks, check out the link down below to WEBULL. How do you guys feel about the Fed meeting? How are you guys feeling about PCE? Do you think the spot Ethereum ETFs will break their 19-day streak, or do you think we have to reset the timer and start from scratch if we have an outflow today? And how are you feeling about the Bitcoin miners? Mara reported a profitable quarter. We're not getting much of a reaction from it. That could also be due to the Fed meeting and the uncertainty of future rate cuts. And also, what do you think about the reserve strategy? Are we going to outright buy some Bitcoin? Are we going to create Bitcoin bonds? What are we going to do there? Or is it just going to continue to be Bitcoin that's seized from illegal operations and so on and so forth? Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.